You look at Barry Bonds, you look at Roger Clemens, you look at Alex Rodriguez. They were accused of doing steroids. Barry Bonds, before he even did steroids, was a Hall of Famer. 400 and 400. 400 home runs, 400 stolen bases. Before he even looked like he was, sticking himself in the ass. Okay? Roger Clemens, before he left the Boston Red Sox, was a Hall of Famer. And even Alex Rodriguez, before this whole thing came out in Texas, he was on his way to be a Hall of Famer. Do you think Barry Bonds is being held up by the major leagues and Roger Clemens being held up by the major leagues because of this steroid thing is right for what they're doing? Or do you believe that they should be in the Hall of Fame and they should just have an asterisk on their name because they did steroids?
No, it's a catastrophe. Throw away the asterisk talk because these guys did nothing wrong. Major League Baseball is the only one who's at fault here. Major League Baseball, time and time again, skirts all responsibility. This is another reason why I'm hated by BWAA, because I always call out Major League Baseball. 1985 Pittsburgh drug trials with all the guys using cocaine, right? Major League Baseball said, we're not responsible for any of this stuff. We don't look, we got there's a trial on it, right? And then you go to the steroid controversy. Well, Major League Baseball didn't want to test for anything. They didn't put anything in the collective bargaining agreement about testing. So what did guys do? Oh, well, they used the things that Major League Baseball said they didn't say you could use, but they didn't say you couldn't not use them, right? So, I mean, it's a complete disaster when you look at the thing as a whole. I mean, it continues till today. It's really aggravating to me because the whole thing with the Astros cheating scandal, I'm sorry. I have to say this time and time again. I'm sure you've seen me go on rants about it on Twitter. And the whole thing blew up with the New York Post because I had to apologize because lawyers came after me about how I came out with all the other information I knew about other teams cheating, right? Well, they did. And everybody knows it, right? And then the Major League Baseball purchased Rawlings and suddenly the baseball all of a sudden starts flying. And now this season, all of a sudden the baseball's dead. And guess what's going to happen here in a couple of weeks? It's going to start flying again. I guarantee it. Start betting the overs, boys. But I'm telling you, Major League Baseball is at fault for everything. And they constantly skirt any and all responsibility. Manfred has been at the forefront of the steroid controversy. But Bud Selig gets blamed for that. And it's also his fault. But Manfred was at the forefront of that. So was George Mitchell, Senator George Mitchell, who nobody seems to talk about anymore. But that Mitchell report comes from a guy who's been accused of going to Epstein Island like 8 times. And all of a sudden, we're not talking about this guy anymore because he's, probably a pretty bad dude. But, let's let that slide. And then also the fact that the Mitchell report didn't name a single player on the Red Sox. Guess what team George Mitchell happened to work for? To me, that throws out any value of that report because he's clearly picking and choosing who he wants to finger in this thing. And it's just this is a disaster when Major League Baseball enabled it and then says, Mark McGwire, you're not getting the Hall of Fame. Mark McGwire deserves a damn statue outside of that Hall of Fame. I don't care about the plaque. Give him a statue because he saved baseball. Oftentimes when I say that, people bring up Sammy Sosa. Sosa wasn't a part of that home run race until June 1998, and that was the most exciting thing I've ever seen in baseball. But Mark McGwire was chasing that record in 95, 96, 97, and he was bound to get there, and he did. And Major League Baseball ensured that he did. And once they got what they needed from McGwire and Barry Bonds, they said, get the hell out of here. We had enough of you, and now we're going to blame you for tarnishing our sport. It's complete crap. There were no rules in place that prevented players from doing any of these things. And then on top of it, the fact is people don't understand what steroids do. Steroids don't, sure, they make you stronger, right? But being stronger does not mean you're going to hit home runs. It doesn't. What it does is just allow you to be at 100% for a longer period of your season. So Mark McGwire was out there hitting 70 home runs, not because he was all of a sudden this massive dude and could swing the bat a million miles an hour. No, he's had stretches in his career long before that when he was skinny McGwire.
His rookie season had 15 home runs.
Yeah. So Barry Bonds had stretches where he had numbers just like he did in 01, 03, 02, 03, 04. But all of a sudden, those stretches become the duration of the season because they have the endurance to do it for 162 games. And the last thing I got to say about steroids, it drives me nuts because fans are so ignorant as to what steroids do. They think you take steroids, you're automatically hitting home runs, or if you're hitting home runs, you're automatically taking steroids. Guess what? Here's your clip for the show. I took steroids. I hit 0 home runs. I still sucked at baseball. I couldn't hit a ball 350 feet, let alone 550, all right? It didn't do anything for me other than give me a massive bench press. That's it.
So one more question for me. By the way, before I get to that, you mentioned you were a Marine. I'll salute your service.
Thank you.
As a Marine.
That's all right.
So you're a couple questions ago, you were mentioning how a lot of these closers were kind of overrated getting into the Hall of Fame type thing. I actually, a couple of years ago, said I had a theory, the way analytics were going, that the pure closer will die out in 5 to 7 years with the analytics, where they're putting positionally best positions in the best relief pitchers in different parts of the game. Where do you stand on that potential type of thing?
I think it's already happening, and I think you were ahead of the curve on that one. You know what? You should make fun of BBWA just like I do, because they always seem to know what's happening.
You got to listen to our show, man.
And yet they're always wrong. It's amazing to me. Like, it's just this group, the old boys club, BBWA. It drives me nuts. I'll have to send you guys some of the emails that I've sent these people about why I should be in, because I qualify based on their very rules. I contributed to last year I think I contributed to 18 of 30 team broadcasts, which is exactly something that gives you the right to be a member of BBWA. I was credentialed by, I think, 8 different teams to go to games as a media member. But no, you don't quite. Clearly, I have a little bit of a chip on my shoulder about this. But no, I really think you're exactly right. We see some of the best relievers coming in. I think the first time we really saw this was, I want to say, the 2017 postseason, where you're seeing teams' best relievers coming into the 4th inning. And it's in the postseason. Why is this? Well, this is because when the games matter the most. So logically, the only thing that's going to follow from there is that teams figure out, okay, if it works in the postseason, well, we're playing the best teams in the game. Well, maybe this is a concept that we could apply throughout the entire season. I wouldn't even be surprised at all if in the future we see a team that tries to do something like you have no starters. You have 3 inning guys, right? And you throw a pitcher out there for 3 innings, then he's done. Another pitcher for 3, he's done. Pitcher for the last 3, he's done. And then it's their turn 3 days later. And you end up seeing a guy who gets, over the course of 162 games, 54 starts, but he only throws 162 innings because he's only throwing 3 innings per. I wouldn't at all be surprised that that's something we see as baseball people become smarter and smarter about the game.
Just so you know, we talk about all the commissioners in professional sports on this show. We don't care who's listening or what anybody is saying. They can hate us. We throw everybody under the bus if we have to, because we are honest and we don't hold back. Everything that we say is straightforward from our hearts and what we think. Just because, hey, you know what? People don't like us or people disagree with us, we're gonna spit out what we believe in. And I've said it all along. Rob Manfred is the worst commissioner in professional sports. The guy doesn't know what the hell he's doing. What they're doing to Pete Rose is a catastrophe. It's just stupid. People bet on sports now. It's legalized here in New York. But hey, you know what? If Derek Jeter's doing that now that he's retired, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, because he was a coach or a manager in the league and he was betting against the team that they were beating. That's why he's not in the Hall. It doesn't make sense. And then there are guys like David Ortiz that's in the Hall of Fame when he admitted to doing steroids. So PEDs, whatever the hell he did, okay? It's ridiculous. He's a first ballot Hall of Fame when Barry Bonds is a way better player than he would ever think to be. And Barry Bonds is never going to go into the Hall of Fame, and he is arguably the greatest baseball player to ever play this game. So it doesn't make sense. Rob Manfred's a moron. Bud Selig should be buried in the ground right now, the old bag, okay? Go sell another damn car over there in Cincinnati or wherever the hell you're from, you moron, okay? That's what baseball. And by the way, why isn't George Steinbrenner in the Hall of Fame? I wonder. Is it hatred for the Yankees, or is it just hatred that he went to he was suspended from baseball for 2 years because of what he did? And by the way, he changed baseball. He made baseball for what it is today. So kiss my ass. How's that sound?
Hey, I'm all about it. You guys are gonna have to have me back because I love this passion and this trashing of, or thrashing, I'll even say, of Robert D. Manfred, who I also am not a huge fan of, as you've seen here. And to be honest, the thing that I'm most pissed about Manfred is the fact that that 2020 postseason that they had with the different playoff format, that was mine. They freaking stole it word for word from me. Wow. And then I get no credit at all. And then they're going to blacklist me from MLB Network and stuff. I'm not allowed to do that stuff anymore. And their writers aren't allowed to credit me or talk to me or anything.
Let them.
Screw you.
It's not even worth it. Anyways, this is the problem with professional sports. Whenever they have something to say, they'll throw you under the bus. And when they have nothing to say about you, they'll find a story to say something about you. That's what professional sports is. It's a oxymoronic, stupid, bullcrap organization. And all of them, NFL, NBA, NHL, they're all. Gary Bettman, idiot. Bud Selig, idiot. Roger Goodell, idiot. Adam Silver lets LeBron James run the friggin' league, idiot. They're all idiots. They're all
LeBron
idiots.
James is so not even to get into the political side of anything, but LeBron James is the biggest hypocrite in the world. All he does is preach about is equality and stuff here in the U.S. and then he goes over. The man literally has Chinese slaves. I'm sorry, like he literally owns Chinese slaves.
I believe it,
and I say literally in the literal sense of the word. And he says nothing about it and never addresses any of that. And it just is maddening to me. I'm sorry. Screw LeBron James. Michael Jordan's the greatest of all time. I know you said earlier, Jordan's the best.
Jordan's the greatest athlete I've ever seen play professional sports. And that's coming from Wayne Gretzky, Muhammad Ali. Anybody says, Muhammad Ali was a great boxer. I don't even think he's the greatest boxer I've ever seen. But anyways, that's just...
Mike Tyson's the best.
Mike Tyson's the greatest knockout boxer I've ever seen. I think the greatest boxer I have ever seen, like with my eyes, at the top of his game, I would say Sugar Ray Leonard was the best I've seen, like with my own eyes. But Oscar Robertson, there was Joe Frazier. There were so many good fighters. So they don't get any credit because we never got a chance to see them. Anyways, we are talking to co-author Incredible Baseball Stats, Ryan Spaeder. Ryan, we really appreciate you joining us. We definitely want to get you on again. Listen, you can come on whenever you want and bash baseball. It doesn't matter to us.
Oh, we're hoping you overtake all the Hall of Fame writers at this rate.
Why don't we write a book?
I appreciate it, guys.
Why don't we write a book about that?
Yeah, that's great.
Get those old guys out of
it. I'll definitely jump back on soon. I hope so.
Get the old guys out of the Baseball Hall of Fame writing for the voting. We need you on that panel.
I'll tell you what. Next time we jump on, we'll have to grab a beer together.
Absolutely,
we'll really get it going then.
Oh, absolutely. We really appreciate all the time that you gave us tonight, and we'll get you on. Speedy will reach out to you, and we'll be communicating with you. We really appreciate everything.
All right, take it easy, guys. You have a great night. Thanks again.
Absolutely.
You too.